Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic. I should have my hat on, shouldn't I? That's completely and utterly remiss of me. I'm so sorry. Let me just pop the festival hat on, make myself look exactly, I tell you, like Father Christmas. And introduce the video. Well, more likely the puzzle we're going to be trying today, which is called Bits and Nibbles. This is one the testers have been looking at for a while, actually. They really like it. Although there have been different responses to solving it. I think you have to get the right idea to solve this efficiently. It's by Jonesy. And I've done a puzzle. I think I've done a puzzle with roughly this rule set before, and that was probably by Jonesy. Involves this one, I think, is going to be very popular with computer programmers because it involves bit clocks. And so sort of how to describe this? We're going to have to basically use the arrows. It's so whatever this digit is, it sort of encodes these cells here into their sort of bits, whether they're on and off from a bit perspective. If you're used to binary, this will all just be, oh yes, of course, that's what it does. If you're not used to binary and you're like me, you will need to have your hand held through this. But apparently this is a very beautiful puzzle, and I'm looking forward very much to having a go at it. I'm a bit late starting with this one today. more dealing with computer issues. But anyway, we'll read the rules together in a moment or two's time. I think it's got 3 stars out of 5 for difficulty. But we shall see how difficult I found it. What can I tell you about before we kick off? Let me think. Tomorrow, we're hoping to stream more blueprints at the usual time, 10 p.m. UK time. And we'd love to have your company if you're free. It'll be the last stream of the year. So something of a celebration. I mean, basically, we've all will have spent all but half a year on one game. What a game that is! I mean, that's really quite incredible. That still so many people are, or seem to be at least, enjoying watching Mark and I plod our way through it. But yeah, it's a testament to the quality and the inventiveness and originality of Blueprints itself. So we'd love to have your company if you're around tomorrow night. Other than that, I will mention that on the 1st of January we have a brand new competition starting over on Patreon for all those of you who are patrons over there and support the channel. Thank you so much. If you're one of those people, you keep the channel going. This one is created by Pathera. More on Pathera later. And it is great fun. We have tested it aplenty and are looking forward to showing it to you guys. It'll go live at 4 p.m. UK time on the 1st of January, and the closing date, as usual, will be the 20th. Now, what else? Birthdays. Let me look at my list of birthdays. I've got a couple here I'm late with, as usual. This is post my holiday and post computer problems, so do forgive me if I've failed. Actually, the first one's a failure. Alice, you turned 26 on Christmas Day. And I know this because your mum Leslie wrote to me in good time, I hasten to add, but what with all of the troubles, I'm afraid I missed it. But Leslie's message to you was that she is so proud of the wife and mum that you've become, and she guaranteed to me that there would be very well iced chocolate cake for you on your birthday on Christmas Day. So Alice, I hope you enjoyed that. I'm sorry I'm a bit late with the shout out. Many happy returns. Next, Ben, your friend Elliot wrote to me. Now, I'm not sure, I haven't written it on my page when your birthday was or is. Perhaps it is today, but I know the two of you have been watching for years and have been doing Sudokus across the world while travelling. That's phenomenal. Ben, many happy returns. I hope you have a great birthday. Don't know where you are in the world at this instant, but I hope there's some chocolate cake available. Next, Chris. Your brother Andrew left it late, let me tell you, but I did get the message just in time before I started recording today. I understand, Chris, that you really have been enjoying the streams. Okay, one more of those tomorrow. And my impression of Zippy. No, I'm not going there. I'm just not. Sorry, I can't. No. Get it out of your mind. You're not doing an impression of Zippy on the video. You silly, silly man. I'm not doing it. No, get it out of your head. I'm moving swiftly on. Yeva, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Yeva, your partner Tommy wrote to me to tell me it was your birthday today. You guys, I think, were at Stratford-upon-Avon when we did the live cracking the cryptic. When was that? Was that November? The months slip by, don't they? Actually, you've reminded me. I met somebody. I met Eve. I think it was Eve at Stratford, and Eve sent us a Christmas card, which was very kind. And Eve, thank you for doing that. I did try the game. I did enjoy it. Anyway, let's get back to Yeva's birthday. I hope you have a great one, and I hope the chocolate cake is very fine indeed. Next, Joseph. Joseph, you've turned 5 today, and I know this because your Aunt Amy, who I know better as Pathera, and people watching the channel will know better as Pathera, because Pathera is a very well-known setter in the world of Sudoku. Pathera wrote to me, your Aunt Amy, to say it's your birthday today. I know you like Hot Wheels cars, so I hope that you got some very splendid ones. And I also know that you were planning on having Cookie Monster cake. Now that does sound excellent, and I think Cookie Monster cake means you get to eat cookies at the same time you can eat the cake. What's better than that? Joseph, many, many happy returns. Next, Sam. Sam, your partner Jake wrote to me and told me that you watch the channel to fall asleep, and you're a very good solver apparently, and he's hoping that you might be excited enough by getting a shout out that this sort of makes you wake up. I don't know if that's going to be true. I can't imagine anyone being particularly excited about a shout out, but I hope that you are. And Sam, many, many happy returns. I hope you've had good chocolate cake today. And then finally, Sylvie. Sylvie, you have turned 19 today, I think. And you were planning on having cookie cake, which I'm assured is just a really big cookie. That's absolutely fine. Cookies are excellent, really. You've been watching since June and you haven't missed a single video. That's incredible. That definitely makes you one of my favourite people, Sylvie. Many, many happy returns. Now, let me. I'm just going to double check. It does look like it's recording. It does. I suddenly worried because I'm trying to use a different sort of bit of software to record at the moment. I'm slightly terrified it isn't working, but I think probably it is. Let me just... Yeah, I think it's working. I think we can carry on. Let's keep our fingers crossed. And let's move swiftly on and have a look at the rules of Bits and Nibbles by Jonesy. Jonesy actually made a beautiful puzzle. The Danube-themed puzzle that we did the other day on the channel. I thought that was lovely. Anyway, let's move. Let's look at this puzzle. The rules just start with hello. Then it says Parity Counter Lines. The 2 digits at the ends of each line indicate the number of odd and even digits in that line, including the end digits themselves. 1 digit counts the odd digits, the other counts the even digits. So let's look at this line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those 2 cells, they're going to sum to 8, is what we're being told there. And they are going to, let's say there were 3 and 5. So although those are both odd digits, one of them is counting the total number of odd digits on the line, and the other is counting the total number of even digits on the line. Okay, all right, that's. I think I understand that. All right, and this is the part of the rule that the computer programmers are going to like. BitClock. Each BitClock consists of an arrow cell. So let's look at this one. Oh, that's terrible colour, sorry. Let's pick this cell. Consists of an arrow cell at the centre of the clock and its 4 orthogonal neighbours. Okay, so orthogonal means sharing an edge with, so that's those cells there. The digit in the arrow cell encodes the parity, odd or even, of these 4 neighbours. Even digits represent bits that are on, and odd digits represent bits that are off. The corresponding 4-bit code for each digit, read from left to right, determines the parities of the 4 adjacent cells. The arrow indicates the starting bit of the sequence, which continues clockwise around the bit clock. Okay, that's why it's called a bit clock. Example, right? This is very important. If a 3 is placed in a bit clock cell, so let's make that cell 3. Its code is OOEE. Okay, and it's actually the instructions list the codes for all the various digits 1 to 9. Its code is 0033. So starting from the direction of the arrow and reading clockwise, the 4 orthogonal neighbours must be odd, odd, even, even. So these would both be odd, and those would both be even. Yeah, okay. The way I think about this, which you'll probably think is complete lunacy, and forgive me for this. I don't know why my brain does this, but this is how I think about it. If you think about a binary number, the rightmost number is sort of counting the ones, isn't it? Then the next number is counting the twos. The next number is counting the fours. The next number is counting the eights. Because in binary, you've only got the numbers 1 and 0 to play with. So this digit is, I think, counting the number of 8s in this cell, in this cell's total. This is counting the number of 4s in this cell's total. So that's why these are both off, because odd digits represent the bits being off. And then these two are on because this is counting the number of 2s and this is counting the number of 1s. Yeah, I mean that it's. I might actually play around with the rules to see if they can be worded in a way that makes them a bit more, I suppose, tractable for people like me who are not computer minded. I think I'm being helped here by the fact I've done a puzzle with this rule set before. So basically what we do is we find the arrow, we look at the 4 cells round, going clockwise from the first cell being pointed at by the arrow, and we count the bits. And that encodes the digit that's in the arrow cell. It's completely straightforward. Is that actually all the rules? So there's only 2 rules. We've got the parity lines and the bit clocks. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now, I get to play. Let's get cracking. So, I remember something from when I did one of these puzzles before, and I presume that is going to be important. So let me share that with you. It's like a secret. It's not the secret of Sudoku, it's the secret of bit clocks. So what I learned when I looked at a puzzle like this before is that it's quite difficult in binary to create an odd number. And I'm so sorry. I know that there will probably literally be thousands of people watching this video thinking, this man is an absolute moron. I totally agree. In many ways, I am a moron. But I'm trying to call it like I see it. For me, that was very interesting, that to create an odd number in binary, you have to turn on that first bit, don't you? So if we're looking at this cell, the only way that could be an odd number is if this bit is turned on, the bit representing the 1, because the other bit, this counts 8s, this counts 4s, this counts 2s. So the only way to create an odd number is to turn the 1 bit on. Now, so, yeah, So what that is going to mean is that these two cells are always going to be different parity. Because if that wants to be even, its odd digit bit, its one bit, needs to be turned off and be odd. So if this is even, this is odd. And if this is odd, that's even. It's very peculiar, but that is a truth. That is a truth that must exist in this puzzle. Now, are there other things that we're going to be able... Let me just... I'm just going to think about this for a second. Let me look at the list of... It's probably something to do with creating the digit codes. So to create the digit 1, you're going to have all odd digits around. So if this was a 1, those would all be odd. So you get a whole stacking of odds, and then that would be even. And you can get 3 evens by the digit 7 contains 3 evens, bizarrely. So if that was a 7, it would have no 8s in it, so that would be off. But then all 3 of those would have to be on, because we'd have 1, 4, 1, 2, and 1, 1. Okay. And it's not... Maybe 7 is the key then, because 7... If 7 involves 3 evens and they were all in the same box, so if that is a 7, you'd have to put 3 evens there. And then you obviously only have 4 evens in any Sudoku box, so 7 might be quite a restricted digit. I mean, I'm probably not going about this the right way. I'm just trying to establish in my head where the constraints might be. Now, the other thing we probably need to do is to think about the length of these lines, because that's going to limit at least the ends, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those 2 digits are either 1 and 6, 2 and 5, or 3 and 4, which is a terrible, terrible pencil mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's length 6. So these 2 are either 1, 5, 2, 4, or double 3 to add up to 6. These 2, they have to add up to 8, so they are 1, 7, 2, 6, or 3, 5. And that one affects the parity of the cell beneath it, doesn't it? Because that's got a westward facing BitClock. So we know that these 2 digits are of opposite parity. Let's just fill that in for a moment. So let's make those green and yellow. I can't really see the arrows against the green colour. Let me just try and find a colour that I can. At least I can see the grey arrow against that red background. So that is red, is what that's told us. The reason this is red is because of this one. This BitClock is like the example when we were looking here. We know that if this is an even digit, the way it's even is if its 1 bit is turned off and would be odd. And if this is an odd digit, then its 1 bit must be turned on in order to create the odd digit. So this is a red digit. And now that digit is a yellow digit, I think. Again, because this one's BitClock is those 4 starting here. So these are of opposite parity. So we've definitely got 2 reds on this line. But if this was 1, 7, well, then the 7 would have to be the red colour. So there would be 1 yellow on the line. Those have to be of opposite parity as well, those 2 there. So if this was 1, 7, the yellow would be in those cells and all of these would be red. Which is probably fine, isn't it? Okay, so am I looking in the wrong place for how to start this? Let me just... I'm not very good at binary. It does not... I guess for computer programs, does it just come naturally? Do you just sort of feel it in your bones, or is it practice? See, I don't really have a good intuition as to how to think about this. Well, okay, no. Right, we can do one thing, actually. I think that if this was turned on... Yeah, there can't be any 8s. Yeah, okay, so it's fine. There can't be any 8s in this total, because the maximum size of this digit is 7. So that digit is definitely off vis-a-vis this. The bit clock associated with this cell is those, and this is counting the 8s. So there must be no 8s in it. This must be turned off, which is odd. So yellow is off. There we go. And red is on. And now that one. So now this one, I've got a digit straight away. That's a 9. Well, when I say straight away, I might be being slightly euphemistic there, but that's true. That's a 9. Because the 8 digit, the 8-bit has been turned on by being even. So this is at least an 8 now, but it's actually got it's got a 1 being contributed. So those two are both on, and that makes that 9. And both of these have to be off then, otherwise this would be bigger than 9. Right, and hang on, if this is even, which we've now established it is, right, that's beautiful. This is a 2-6 pair then, because this has to be even. So the 2 digits adding up to 8 at the ends of the whatever it was called, the parity counter line, have to both be even. So that's even. Oh, now. Yeah, that's lovely. This is lovely. Right. Look at this shape all as a whole. We know that this shape has 2 of one parity on it and 6 of the other parity. But I've already got 3 evens on it, so it must be 2 odds and 6 evens on the line. But I've got 1 odd there, and I know that those are of different parity, using our secret trick relating to bit clocks. So those two have to both be even to get our even total up to 6. And now this digit, oh, I don't know. Well, it's massive. It's 8 or 9, because the king digit, the king bit, has been switched on so far as this bit clock's concerned. This being on. Right, yeah, okay. So now I'm starting to get the hang of this. Sorry again if I'm being slow, but blame Christmas. I'm overcaloried. Look, this being on, you can't turn on the 4 and the 2, because this digit would be at least a 10, because the 8 is turned on. So those have to be turned off. And that one we don't know. You can have 2x2s here, can't you? I don't think I read that in the rules if you can't. I think, yeah, we've had a checkerboard, so we could probably have a 2x2. What about that one? Do I know what that one is? Yeah. Yes, this is even by this sort of trick, whereby the 1 digit has to be of different parity to the overall digit. So that's even. That one is looking at that bit clock, which is a different creature, rather. That can't... Right, here we go. This can't be 2 or 6 now. So, and these two had to add up to 7, didn't they? So if this can't be 2, that can't be 5. If this can't be 6, this can't be 1. So it's becoming harder for this digit to be odd. If this is odd, 3. That would be a 4. That would be pointed at by that one. So that would... Oh, I can't see that in my head as to whether that's a problem. I mean, I think that would have to be an 8 in that situation. If that's even, because it's the 8 counter for this bit clock, that would have to be an 8 or a 9. It couldn't be a 9. So if that's even, that's even. And then that would be odd. No. Oh, I see. Hang on. No, it's simpler, isn't it, than I'm... Hang on. How would this work then? If that's... It's something to do with these two. Sorry. If that's... I'm just thinking, if this is even, that's massive. It can't... No, that... Okay, it's very straightforward and I'm being very dumb. Right, that can't be even. And the reason this can't be even is what would this bit clock be? It would be saying the 8 is turned on, the 2 is turned on. Well, that's already 10. I can't write 10 into this cell, so that can't possibly be on. That's off. Okay, but now, it's really clever actually, Jonesy, the way this works. Because it's weird. That has an implication for this cell, because those two have to be of different parity. Because you're always, for this one, it would be those two that have the parity implication. For this one, it's these two that have the parity implication. So this is now even in order to ensure this is an odd digit, because we have to turn the 1 bit on. And now that means, of course, that this is now odd. That is correct. And I don't know what that means, but it feels like it might be quite exciting. He says, trying to work out what it means. I've got 3 evens in row 3, and I only need 1 more, 2, 4, 6, and 8, obviously being the only even numbers in Sudoku. And that one is odd, so that is... Yeah, okay, but I know, that's lovely. Again, this is a beautiful puzzle. The logic is completely alien, basically, but it gives you these little epiphanies. How could this be turned on? And maybe this has been available for ages, but it can't be on now, because if it's on, it's counting the 8s that are included in this total. But this is an odd total, so this digit would be at least 9, but it can't be 9. So now it's at least 11, and that's not a Sudoku number. So this bit, the 8-bit associated with that bit clock, has to be off, and therefore it's got to be odd. And now it's not a 4. So this is now not a 3. And that is itself even. And please be the bit clock associated with that. Well, it is. This digit being even means that digit is odd by bit clock logic. And that being odd means this digit is even by bit clock logic. This is beautiful. Now look at this digit. This one has had its 8-bit turned on, because that's the bit clock. This is the 8-bit associated with that bit clock. So that's got to be an 8 or a 9 now, and that's an 8-9 pair. And now we can't turn on that bit. For this bit clock, which is these 4, this is the 4-bit. So the 8-bit's turned on. If we turn the 4-bit on, that's at least a 12. So that is odd. And we know that. Yes. So now we know the parity of these two cells. If you can't see that, do pause the video and think about why we know that. For those of you who managed to do it, congratulations. Now, the reason is lovely. Remember that whenever we get the digit in an arrow cell, the digit that's sort of to the left of it. I know that makes no sense in the context of this one, but or the digit that's in the 9 o'clock position compared to if 12 o'clock was the arrow tip is always of opposite parity to it. So these are one of each parity, these are one of each parity, and that means, let's count the odd digits in this box. There's 1 in this domino, there's 1 in this domino, there's 3 there, that's all 5. So everything else in the box must be even, and that I think means these two cells. Now this digit is an 8, because that digit has had its 8-bit, or that bit clock has had its 8-bit turned on, and it can't be 9, and it's got to be even. So nothing else around this must be on then. Those must be both off. Now what about that one? So this one, it's looking at that bit clock, and its 8-bit and its 4-bit have been turned off. So the most you could, if you turned both of those bits on, that would be a 2 plus a 1, which makes this a maximum of 3. So that's 1, 2, or 3. Don't I know what that is? I've got all 4 of its bit clocks. Its bit clock is done. That's a 2, isn't it? I think it's a 2. Its 2 bits is turned on, so that's a 2. So that's a 6. That's a 2. That's a 4 actually by Sudoku. It sees 2, 6, and it sees the 8 in the column. So that's a 4. That digit is now 6 or 8. There's a 2 here, so that digit's off, because that's the 4-bit for this arrow, isn't it? 8-bit, 4-bit, 2-bit, which is on, and the 1-bit, which is off. So this cell, yeah, this cell is going to be where the magic is. How do we do this one? So this one's, oh no, that's terrible. I've only got 3 of bits turned on. I've got the 2-bit and the 1-bit turned on. So this bit can't be turned on, because that would make this too big. So that's definitely odd. So there is something you can do, even when you don't think you can. But what about that bit then? If that's odd, we're on a count of 3. And if that's on, then that contributes 4 more. So that's 3 or 7. Oh dear, right, now I'm getting stuck. Oh dear, where do you think we look next? I've got 4 odds in column 3, so I can only have 1 more odd down here. And I've got to put the digits 4 and 6 down here. So can that be 4 or 6? Oh, maybe it can actually. Because if this is 4 or 6, you would expect its 8-bit to be turned off, wouldn't you? That one... oh, this digit... hang on, that digit's not a 4. And those two had to add up to 6, didn't they? So if that's not a 4, that's not a 2. This one has got some bitage turned on. Its 4-bit has been turned on, and its 1-bit has been turned on. So that's at least a 5, and it's odd. So that's 5, 7, or 9. It can't be 9. Because the only way of creating 9 using this system is to turn the 8-bit on and the 1-bit on. But this has got the 4-bit turned on. So this is 5 or 7. Oh, 7, yeah, 7 was the funny one, wasn't it? Where you got 3 evens. You'd get, this would be even. Therefore, this would be odd. That might be fine. I don't know. This, hang on, what's the value of that is 2 or 6. So that's lovely. Yeah, there we go. There we go. This is key. This is 2 or 6. How do you make a 2 or a 6 with the 2-bit? What does the 2-bit have to be? It has to be turned on, doesn't it? Because either the 2 is just a 2, and that's the only bit that's turned on, or it's 6, which is going to mean the 2-bit and the 4-bit is turned on. So that's always blue. And therefore this is an 8, because 9 is an odd number. There's a knowledge bomb for you from cracking the cryptic. Now, this is odd, so that's even by BitClock secret. This is odd by BitClock secret. We've done all the parity in box 5. Those 2 digits, actually, I didn't see this before, but this has been available for a while. They are both odd by Sudoku. Because they see 2, 4, 6 and 8. So 8 is in one of those 2 cells in box. So 8 is in one of 2 cells in box 1 as well. So 8 is in one of 2 cells in box 3. Okay, but surely we can do more here. The 8-bit is never turned on here for this clue. This clue's BitClock is those cells, and that's the 8-bit, and that cannot be on because the value of this is not big enough. So that is off. It is odd, therefore, so it is not 2, which means this is not 4, which means that this is odd. I love this. This is so beautiful. Oh no, it's beautiful, but it doesn't do the BitClockage for this one, does it? That's the 2nd bit that's turned off. Oh, that's distressing. Okay. So, I know. It's this one. It's this one and this column, isn't it? Oh, no. Hang on. Where's 6 in this box? I could just put it in. Sorry, I didn't see that. This is a 2-4 pair. Now, the BitClock associated with this digit is those 4 bits, and we know these 2 by the BitClock trick are of different parity. So one of these is 8. And that's the final even digit in this column. So that's odd, and that's odd. And now that's clearly not 8 then, because 8 is even. Another knowledge bomb. Now there is a 4 down here by Sudoku. This digit is even. I haven't put 2 and 6 into this column. So I've now found a sort of hidden 2-6 pair in column 5. And we can probably work some magic with this. Let me just mull over how do we cauldron up the magic. We are going to, yeah, no, it's fine. That can't be 8. Because if it's 8, we know its first bit, that 8 counting bit, must be turned on and it would be turned off. So that can't be 8. That's got to be 8. Which is therefore even, which means this digit is now odd. And that's terrible. Well, it's not terrible, but it means we don't really know what this is, do we? I must know that one a bit more. I've got 3 of its bits. It can't. Oh, that's not a bit. That's not a BitClock. Okay, sorry. I was getting carried away. I was thinking, hang on, this one, I know lots about it, but it's not got an arrow in it, so you can't use logic. This one I know. This one has got an arrow and it's got all 4 of its bits sorted out. This is a 6 because these are both switched on. That's lovely. So that's 6. That's 2. That is not a 6 anymore. That is not a 6 anymore. Yeah, that could be a 4, look. Wait though. Right, no, okay. It's this line, I think. This one, I don't know what it is. I have no idea, but by the BitClock trick, this is of different parity to it. So this is one of each parity. So if we look at the line now as a whole, could this be a 1-5 pair, adding up to 6? No, because there's at least 2 even digits on it, because there's definitely an even and an odd in this domino, and that's even. And then these are already both odds, so this must be double 3, which is a classic Marty Sears trick to sort of use the most obscure way of creating. That's now a 7 by Sudoku. So we now know that that means the 4 bit is turned on. It's just lovely, isn't it, this? So that is 4 or 6. Although it appears we don't know which one. This is double 3. Yeah, this is good. This is good. If this is double 3, remember one of these is odd and one of these is even. So all the odds have now appeared on the line. So that cell must be even. And then we can use the BitClock. Oh, in fact, we don't need to. We've got all the evens in column 2. So those must both be odd. This can't be a 2. This is a 1 or a 3, but it can't be a 0. And if this wasn't even, it would be a 0. So that is on, and this is a 1. I do think this rule set is weird. It's one of those weird rule sets, and I'm almost not sure I can think of another example of it, where the rule set, to express the rules and to explain them is quite tricky, but the pleasure that the rule set gives when you solve the puzzle fully merits the difficulty of the rules, if you see what I mean, the natural difficulty of wording the rules. Now, let's think. What can we do with this? Do I know what that one is? No. Oh. Well, this is very limited. This is very limited. Yeah, that's it. This one is the key. Because it's one bit is turned on. The only other thing that could be turned on for this arrow's BitClock is the 2 bit. And that would make this a 3. And we've already got a 3 here. So this must be, well, this must be a 1. And that must be off, which means it's odd. Now that is definitely not 4 or 6 then. So the 4 and the 6 in column 3 are in these cells, and the 6 seems to only be able to be there. So that's 6, that's 4, that's at, oh, that's right. That's great. I was thinking that can't work, but the BitClock is perfect. The 4 bit is turned on, even though it's turned on by being an 8. That's even. This is a 2 or an 8, and presumably it can't be 8 because this digit is turned off. So it's got to be 2, which means its 2 bit must be turned on. I'm slowly getting the hang of it. So those are both off. This is an 8 by the fact that it's the only even digit left. 8 must be here now by Sudoku. This digit is a 4 or a 6 by Sudoku. Now, what can we do? Oh, this is a 2. But that... Yeah, do we know that one now? Yeah, this is a 5 or a 7, so it's 8-bit can't be on. That must be off. Therefore, this is a 4 and is turned on. And we can count this. Its 4-bit is on, and its 1-bit is on, so that's a 5. So I think that's probably been available for a while. I just wasn't looking there. We've got a 7-9 pair left to place in box 8. And which one of these silly BitClocks have we not used now? I've not really thought. Oh, if that's a 2, that's got to be a 5, I suppose. Because those two had to add up to 7. That somehow doesn't do anything useful. 1 is a bit restricted in box 7. It's got to be in one of those two. So I get to place the 1. That's lovely. That's a naked single 3. Because there's a 1 in one of these and this is a 1, the 1 in box 1 had to go here, Now this cell sees 1, 7, 9 in the box and 5 in the row, so it's a 3. And now one of those is a 3 by Sudoku. 5 must be whoopsie in one of those two cells. So 5 can be placed in box 7 by Sudoku. 5 can be placed in box 4 by Sudoku. Oh, these are a 3, 7 pair. That's probably how it was easier to see that. Where's 9 in this box? It's got to be there, and that's a shadable cell. So this is an even digit and is 2, 4, 2s, 4s and 6s to place in the box. So one of those is a 2. But that doesn't seem to resolve things for us. 4 is in one of those top cells in this box. So so there's a 4, 8 pair that I never noticed at the end of row 2, which is probably important somehow. What? Oh no, that's not very useful actually. This digit is 1, 3 or 7, and I actually think all of those might be possible. Maybe all of those are possible. Okay, these are both odd because I've got all my even digits in row 7 figured out already. There must be an 8 down here by Sudoku. There must be a 4 and a 6 in this triple, again by Sudoku. There must be a 5 in one of these two. We haven't had a 3 in the corner yet, have we? No. We didn't have one yesterday. I don't know if we're going to get one today. Well, if we do get one, it has to be there. That's the only place it could be. So can that be a 3? I shouldn't really focus on that, should I? What about that cell? What's that? That one, its 4-bit is turned on, so it's at least a 4. It can't be 4, and it can't be 5, and it can't be 8 or 9, so it is 6 or 7, I think. Now, what does that tell us? Well, a 6 would require... Oh, this is it. This is beautiful. This cell is where we have to look. Because if it's a 6, its 2-bit is turned on, and if it's a 7, its 2-bit is turned on. So that is always even, and now look at the row. I've got all the evens. There are 4 evens there. That's going to have to be a 6, which means this is a 7. And the 7, which we noticed right at the start, was quite a potent digit. The only way of creating 7 is with... Oh, that didn't look good. My computer seemed to flash then. I really hope that hasn't broken anything. Anyway, that's now... It didn't crash, I don't think. I'm still going. Let's hope that's worked. Now... 1, 3 and 5. So this is 3 or 5. That must be a 5 then. Yeah, that seems logical, doesn't it? So this is a 3. This is a 1. Now, if that's a 1, only this should be turned on around it. So that's got to be odd. This one, we know it's bit. We know it's parity, sorry, because it's one digit is turned on, so it's got to be off. Or odd, I should say. These digits... Oh, where's 9? Where's 9 in row... This is 9, this is 1. This might become Sudoku. Of all... I mean, it's outrageous, Jonesy, to make me do Sudoku in your Sudoku puzzle, but I suppose if we must. Now, there's a 3 and a 9 there, so that corner digit is even. Oh, okay, so I haven't actually learnt much there. That's a 4-6 pair. Oh. So there's a 2 in one of those two cells. So that digit is definitely odd because the even digits are confined to this p pentomino here. So that's odd and is 3 or 9. This is 7, which is now fixed. Oh, look, row 4. We've got all the evens. Where's the 8? Where's the 8? No, well, it must be here. It must be here, and that's got to be odd. And therefore, oh, this is good. That's 8. That's 4. That's 8. So we get another even digit in row 9 now, where we've got all of our evens. So these are both odd. This is definitely not a 4. And 6 is quite... Yeah, where's 6 in this box? I don't quite know, but it's in one of 2 places. So that means 6 is in one of those 2, and it's not here anymore. And presumably we can do... It's probably that one, isn't it? I feel like we've used up most of the bit clocks now. Which ones have I not actually figured out? Maybe I should have circled them when I'd actually used them or something. Well, let's think about this. This is not very easy to use, is it? Okay, we know this digit is turned off because this digit can't be 8 or 9. So that must be an odd digit, and that's lovely because now in this row I've got all my odd digits, so that's even. So this is a naked single 4. There we go. We can do that with a little bit of Sudoku. This is not 4. 6 has still got options for column 7. And the digit in here is now at least 3. It is 3. Because let's just go through this. You can see it's odd, but it's not 5, 7 or 9. It can't be 1 anymore because it's 1 bit and it's 2 bit are turned on, so it must be 3. And therefore this digit is turned off, and therefore that digit is not 6, which means this digit is 6, which means that's even. This is odd. And the 6 can be placed in box number 9, and that must be 4, because that's the only thing we can do with the 4. That must be 2, so that's 2. And there, I think we've just finished the parity shading of the puzzle. Hopefully. And we still definitely have a chance of a 3 in the corner, actually. There. Right, so... Oh, I know what I didn't use. I didn't use this 2-5 thing. Or maybe I used it earlier. Is it correct? 2... Yeah, I've got 2 evens, 2 and 5 odds. So it does work. Oh, no! That 3's putting a 3 there, which is saying 3, 9. We get a 9 in the corner. That's 9 by Sudoku. That's 9. That's 9. That's 7. Okay, that's pretty good, isn't it? So this is a 7. That's a naked single. It's an odd digit that sees all the other odds. So 1 in row 5 can be placed. 5 can go here, 7 can go here, 7, 3, 1, 5, 3. This needs, what do we need? 1 and 5 in the column, so that's got to be the 1, that's got to be the 5, that's a 7, this is a 1, this is 9, this is 7, that's 4, so that's 6, therefore this is 2, 2, 4, 4, 6, boom. Probably, yes. Oh, thanks for playing. That is a very, very beautiful puzzle. Oh, I upgraded to Windows 11. That finish screen looks slightly different to normal. But it was a beautiful puzzle again. Very, very enjoyable. It's a strange rule to work with, that one. But once you start to realise where the constraints are, so it's funny, once you've finished a puzzle, you could see how if you went back to the start, you could do it much more quickly, because the places to look were not just the sort of parity trick. It's how difficult it is for the 8-bit to be turned on. That was something I didn't appreciate at all before I started it. But it's lovely, isn't it? It's just lovely. Let me know in the comments how you got on with it. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind. And we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.